Hello, everybody. This is Dawn. Thank you so much for stopping by. So, I wanted to comment on, I guess a lot of people are commenting on Gaza. So, I'm going to throw my thoughts out there. Of course, I have a different point of view than, I guess, most people, maybe. It seems like everybody's trying to get everybody to pick a side. Pick a side. Are you for the Palestinians or are you for the Israelis? Can I just not be for either? Can I just be for the innocent men, women, and children who are caught in the middle of this, who are being brutalized, being terrorized, being tortured, being murdered, being violated? Can I be just for them? Because they're on both sides. I see there's somebody who's very prominent in the witchcraft community. I'm not going to name the name, but this person is very prolific in where she stands as far as she stands for the Palestinians. The Israelis are committing genocide, blah, 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 on and on and on. And if you're not on the side of the Palestinians, then you're on the wrong side. You're for violence. But, and I'm looking at this going, whoa, whoa. So where do I stand? Do I have to pick a side? Ukraine and Russia, do I have to pick a side? What about, what's going on in China? They're suppressing and re-educating Muslims, and they're oppressing them and whatnot. So do I pick a side? I want to be on the side of protecting those people who really aren't part of the fight. So you have, usually it's governments and people in leadership who are calling the shots, who are deciding whether they go to war or not. And the citizens are like, what the, can you just leave us out of it, please? Can you just, go thumb wrestle it out, or something? And why do innocent people have to be in the middle of the bloodshed when they have no dog in the fight? I'll put it that way. They don't want the fight. They want peace. They want to be able to send their children to a safe and good school. They want to be able to feed their children healthy food. They want to have a decent job that they don't hate, that pays them well enough so that they can buy the good food, the healthy food for their children. They just want the basics. Most people just want the basics so they can get on with their life and enjoy what they have of their life, enjoy their family. And the governments tend to posture and hear all these reports coming out of Russia about, oh, don't do this or we're going to set off our nuclear weapons. No, they're not. They're not. They're just beating their chest. They're trying to scare you to back down so that they can take over. So it'll be easier for them. But so those are my opinions there, and you may not agree with me, and that's fine. And I'm okay with that. I really am. We really are, us humans really need to learn how to listen to each other and how to be open to change our opinion in our minds by listening to the other people. And we're not doing that. We're clashing, we're tribal. Our tribe is better than yours. We're going to fight you. We're going to get rid of you. We're going to wipe you off the face of the earth. We're going to pass laws that control you. So, where do I stand on the conflicts? I am very much against conflict. I don't do well with conflict. I don't do well with arguments. I do shut down. If somebody is trying to argue with me, I'm not going to argue. It takes too much energy and it's too stressful and it's too toxic. And so what we're seeing, I believe, my opinion, what we're seeing in the world are people, basically 10-year-olds fighting in the play yard. They're not very mature. These people, to me, are not emotionally mature, that have to go pick up their weapons and shoot people to prove a point or to gain more power or control. It's juvenile. It really is. So what can I do about it? The best thing I can do is support my friends and to live my life as best I can, to create joy and health and happiness. That's my responsibility. I'm going to need to create that around me and in my body to be as peaceful and loving and compassionate as I can. So when I am around other people, they feel that. Because when you turn on the TV or you listen to, different news sources, you hear a lot of stressful, horrible, evil things going on, and your stress level is going to go up. Your blood pressure is going to go up. Your body can only handle so much, and then it starts breaking down into ailments and diseases and things like that, and we don't want that. So my other video, I talked about, meditating and tuning into my spirit guides and my spirit allies and really getting to the root of what is causing unrest in my whole being. It starts with the mind, I believe, and it trickles down into the physical. I believe that's how creation works and manifestation. It starts with the mind, and the mind is multidimensional. The mind is connected to the astral. The knee bone is connected to the ankle bone. Sorry. But what I have to do is stay focused on what is good and healthy for me, my loved ones, to be giving and loving and compassionate to in everything that I choose to do, that I choose whatever is most life affirming and most compassionate. I learned that from somebody, I can't remember the person's name, but it is so perfect. If Putin were to do that with Ukraine instead of, sending the military down there to try and crush them and take over the entire country, things would be different. If Putin could really share how he feels threatened by NATO, which I still don't understand, but okay. And NATO people in NATO were to take that to heart and, oh yeah, let's make some changes here. But Putin is so focused on power and control, and he feels threatened by NATO. You violated your promise to keep the NATO from expanding towards Russia. Have you seen how big Russia is? It's a ginormous country. Why are they afraid of a few little countries around them? I don't know. It boggles my mind. But anyway, he is upset because he feels threatened by NATO. And, well, I know what it is. I read this about Putin. He said that he is afraid that what happened to Iraq and Saddam Hussein is going to happen to him. That the West, and I believe this is possibly true, that the West would really like to knock him off and put somebody who's more what's the word? Someone who would be more okay with the Western thinking, would bring more Western democracy into Russia. Because there are elections next year for Putin, and a total sham. I mean, who are you going to vote for, Putin or Putin? Who's on the ballot? Putin. And because in that country, if you speak out against the government, you go to jail for 15 years. So if you run against Putin, you're going to have to talk about the bad things about Putin to make yourself look better. Like, vote for me because I'll do this better than Putin. Well, you just spoke out against the government and then against Putin, so you're going to get put away. So then who's left on the ballot? So anyway, it's a sham, but you know, I don't know. It just seems like the world is on fire and people are insane. They're losing their minds. Look at our politics here in America. Oh my god. The whole world I'm sure is laughing at us. But just keep in mind that we have spirit allies. We have spirit guides. We have even people, spiritual people that want to support us. We need to find them, stay focused on that. And the more we grow, the more um, we stimulate other people to grow. We encourage them just by our presence, just by working on ourselves. We help them to grow and want to grow as well. So, so just keep that in mind. I know the world is falling apart, it seems like, but we can keep it together through love and compassion. I know that sounds kind of frou-frou, but it's true. I've seen it. I've seen people who come in and approach me gloom and doom, and and I engage with them, and I try to bring them around to uplifting their spirit so that they feel better about themselves and about the world, and hope. That is very important, but there's a lot of resistance right now to democracy, to freedom, to um there's a lot of corruption everywhere, because people, that they get greedy, and they think that they have a fear of loss, and so they think they need more, they need more, and so they'll use corruption to get more, and they're afraid to let go of that because they have a fear of loss. So anytime somebody comes into power and starts messing with other people's money, like if you look at Ukraine, I fear for Zelensky, not necessarily from Putin, but from the people he's been uprooting and firing and getting them out of the government, who they've been found to have been taking bribes and stealing money and stuff like that. He's uprooting them. Whenever you mess with people's money, they get angry and you become a target. So we need to uproot the corruption, yes, but okay, so let me put it this way. There was a story that came out many years ago about this Amish father who was physically abusing his kids, beating them, throwing them around, and yelling at them and slapping them and stuff like that. Well, that's not okay. And so when he was called out on it, he went before the church, the congregation, their congregation, and repented and asked for forgiveness. Great. Okay, that's nice. That's good. And they gave him another chance. He went back, and guess what? He went back to abusing his children. So they went back before the church in the whole 9 yards, and he went back and abused his children again. All he has to do is ask for forgiveness, and he's off the hook. The problem is that person needs therapy. There's something going on inside of them, and you can't just punish somebody. You gotta go in. And I'm so frustrated with our country because of the way we do our prison systems. All right, so the way we punish people, and I've said this before about there was a video, a little girl who was bullying on the bus, so she got kicked off on the bus. The father forced her to walk to school, and it was cold out. It was in the 30s. She was bundled up and everything, but she had to walk. And he drove behind her in a car, which is, just to protect her, to make sure nobody tried to kidnap her or anything, I guess. But he was talking about how he was not going to allow her to bully, and she had to learn that she can't bully. Well, why is she bullying? Why is she bullying other kids? Because she has rage inside of her. Nobody's listening. They're just punishing her for the bad behavior without finding out why Is there bad behavior there? What is she acting out about? What's going on there that nobody's listening to? We throw people in prison and we don't even listen to what's really going on inside of them. They really need, in order to rehabilitate people, you have to listen to them and find out where this is coming from. Not just what they tell you, but to really get to the root of it. And it's usually childhood, usually a lot of these people were abused as children, and then they grow up and have children and abuse their children. But what I'm trying to get at is, in this world, it's like everybody's been abused as children and they're acting out as adults and nobody's listening. And it's down to, our tribe is better than yours. Putin's got his reasons for wanting to wipe Ukraine off the map. And then we got China, slowly trying to take over everywhere. And all these countries that have these conflicts, and nobody's listening. The relationship between the Israelis and the Palestinians, it is horrific. It's terrible. And nobody is listening to the other side. And and of course you have to do more than just listen. You really do. You have to be constructive and help both sides get along and work out a solution that they both can live with. And I think a lot of it has to do with religion. Of course, that's a big thing. A lot of people fight over religion. Our religion is right and yours is wrong, and we're going to have to push you out of our country because, you're the wrong religion. So there's a lot of that going on. And I really think that we are on the verge of a growth spurt, an evolutionary growth spurt. And I think it's going to help us move beyond the tribal thinking. My tribe is better than yours. My religion is better than yours. And the reason why I'm saying that is because looking at the religious people here, the Christians here in America, and how they're trying to pass these laws. Our governor, definitely a Christian here in Iowa. She talks about praying in God and stuff like that. And she passed some laws that ban certain books from the school and ban any discussion of LGBTQ subjects. A child the child could bring up gender, asking about gender or wanting to change their gender or something like that. The teacher cannot talk about it, cannot discuss it. They'll lose their job. And so there are 2 lawsuits that say, hey, that's like violating speech there. And the government really has no place in deciding for a school what books they can and cannot read. The school, the teachers, are the ones who need to decide that. And not allowing discussion on LGBTQ subjects is a violation of freedom of speech. So there's a lot of Christians that feel very strongly that homosexuality is evil and all that stuff. And so they are scared when they see people now have the freedom to be gay and be in public. They are very afraid of that, and they feel threatened. And so they push back. And so we have Christian religious radicalized, that's my word for it, radicalized conservatives who want to pass all these laws against to severely restrict abortion. Not just restrict it a little bit. I mean severely to where no abortion is legal at all. Not even to save the woman's life, because sometimes they survive. Like that. So you have the state deciding for you whether you can want to take the risk of, losing your life to have a child. I don't think that's right. I don't think the state has the right to make that decision. And so where was I? Oh, so Christians are really pushing back hard, and they're trying to pass all these very restrictive laws to keep people from talking to children about LGBTQ subjects, which I think is horrible, because kids need to learn about how other people are different, and that's okay. It's okay to be different, because if you don't teach children about, a crippled child or a crippled person, it's okay. We need to accept them and support them and protect them and be loving and kind and respectful. Uh, Otherwise, they're going to grow up to be white supremacists. As far as I'm concerned, there's a good chance of it if you don't expose children to these other races and cultures and religion, and teach them to make space for everybody. We're a big country. We have multiracial cultures here, and we need to learn to get along. LGBTQ is becoming more out in the open. We need to make a space for them. And the religious people feel threatened, and they're pushing back hard. So I feel that we are on the verge of really making an evolutionary leap. And that's why so many people are pushing back so hard and trying to pass laws that are very restrictive. And these religious groups are becoming disgruntled, and they feel threatened, and so they're acting out, and they're not getting along. We have to learn to get along. So I'm sure you've heard of people talk about the fifth dimension, right? And they say, oh, the portal is going to open up and we're all going to move up into a higher dimension. That cannot happen until the majority of the people on this planet move beyond tribal thinking. We have way too many people thinking in the terms of tribes, of my religion is better than yours, and my people are better than yours. You need to be wiped off the map. And, we got to get away from that thinking. There's no way the portal to the fifth dimension is going to open when we have so much hate in our people. So I'll just put that out there. It's not going to be a magical, mystical, everybody's just going to be magically changed into loving, kind people. You cannot get into the fifth dimension if you don't have love in your heart. We have way too much hate right now. We cannot open that portal. And once we get through this crap that's going on, I feel this evolutionary leap to go beyond tribal thinking. We will start thinking in terms of we are a people, we are human, we are here together to learn from each other and work together and cooperate. Once we start doing that, we have a better chance of opening that portal. But right now, it is not going to open. It just is not. Can you imagine trying to let us in, all the fighting and all the hate and all the bloodshed? No, we don't fit into the fifth dimension. We have to change our vibration in order to match to the fifth dimension, in order to be able to make that jump. And we don't have it right now. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, because I see that every once in a while. I'm like, I start laughing, because there's no way we can open the portal. Our vibration is way too low. So there you have it. That's all I have to talk about that. I'm not choosing a side. I'm staying on the side of love and compassion, and I support those who are trying to create peace in the world. So I will not take a side. I am for both Israelis and Palestinians and Ukrainians and Russians. I am on the side of peace for Putin, because he is in a place of unrest and he is in a place of fear. So I believe in sending Putin love and vibration, in good vibrations, because that's how you make people change. You don't discipline them, beat them down, put them in jail. They're not going to change unless you have some sort of system where they can get a hold of therapy so that they can work out their issues and heal. Then they'll change. But that's why so many of our prisoners end up back in jail after they're let out. Prison and jail, they're two different things. So they get put back into prison. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm rambling. But I think you get the idea. We've got to treat the human, not the behavior. You are a spiritual being in a physical body. You are not your behavior. You have issues inside of you, things that you need to learn, heal from, and then your behavior will change. All right. So that little girl that was bullying other kids on the bus and got kicked off, she needs some kind of therapy, counseling, something, so that she can release that rage that is inside of her that she has no outlet for. And once she's able to heal that, then she won't bully ever again, because she's healed what it was causing her to bully in the first place. Forcing her to walk to school is not going to do it. All it does is teaches her that nobody gives a crap about what she thinks. So anyway, there you go. That's enough, I think. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your comments. And I urge you to do something today that makes you feel good and brings you joy. I love you all. And until next time, blessed be.